Not since it staged the Olympic Games in 1980 has Moscow closed its streets for a major sporting event. Recently the streets were barricaded in an historic event that saw the crowds cheering once again for their sporting heroes. But this time they were to welcome F1 cars to Red Square for the Moscow City Racing event organised by Rotterdam Racing.
1 year ago we started with this project, and it was, well, we never believed that we could get all the permissions from the Moscow government, from the Kremlin administration, from the presidential administration. But in the end we succeeded, and don't ask me how, but we succeeded.
As always, Formula One brings glamour and, of course, racing drivers. Nico Rosberg jumped at the chance to drive an F1 car around Moscow and explained just what he had in store for the crowds.
First of all, some speed from this Formula One car. It depends also how bumpy it is, how fast I can go. I'm not sure yet. Other than that, some burnouts, some noise, so it should be fun.
As the AT&T Williams team set up a complete mobile garage just off Red Square, the drivers were wondering if the crowd was ready for the spectacle.
If you see the cars going 2 meters in front of you at 250, I think it looks pretty scary.
When the final preparations were completed, it was time to find out. A temporary street route saw Nico start his lap next to Red Square, run past the Kremlin, around the embankments of the Moscow River, and finish at the Bolshoi Theatre Square. In front of a capacity audience which had lined the 5-kilometre track, Nico wowed the crowd with roaring engines and screeching tyres before closing the show with some spectacular donuts and burnouts.
It would be a really interesting place to go for Formula One, I think. Also in terms of fans, I'm sure they would be really enthusiastic once they start to get introduced to the sport and everything. It's a fantastic sport, so I don't see why the Russians couldn't be really into it.
It is very special for the Russian people to really experience Formula One in their main city, and then also on a track that is really around the Kremlin. So this is really unique.
Over in the UK, as if looking for some help from the Cape Crusader, recently the Toyota Formula One team was out on the track with a promotional event for a new Batman movie. The iconic Batmobile, also known as the Tumbler, was paraded sedately alongside the Toyota TF108 race car. Although it's nearly 4 times heavier than the F1 car, the 5.7-litre Chevy V8 that powers the Tumbler has been tuned so it can take the 2.5-tonne vehicle from 0 to 100 km per hour in 5 seconds. Still no match for an F1 car that can usually get to 100 and back to 0 in just about the same time. Staging a pit stop for the machine that has been described as a cross between a Lamborghini and a Hummer, the assembled pit crew and cameras got to see just what it takes to stop this Hulk. Resembling a crouch bat, the car started its fictional life when Batman modified a military vehicle. Featuring hydraulic aerodynamics and a fake jet engine, complete with reverse thrust, the Tumbler's front wheels can be ejected to convert into the Bat Pod when the going gets rough. And topping off the accessory list is the self-destruct function, a feature that is not likely to be seen in road cars anytime soon.